Welcome back and good morning. You're watching Summit Sunrise. And joining me in the studio, two very special guests. It's Paul Cohen of the Breckenridge Fine Art Gallery and Mark James, a resident artist over at the Breckenridge Fine Art Gallery. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Morning. Very nice.
Well, I'm excited to talk about this weekend that's coming up. It's a big weekend for the art gallery, and it'll be worthwhile to come in. And why is that?
Well, we've got Mark James here, and we've got his work. His work is here year round, but it's part of our Artist in Residence series, and he comes back every year. We've always got his beautiful bronze sculptures, but he's always working on a new piece, and he'll be working live from 3 till 7, Friday and Saturday this weekend.
I love it. Now, let's get right to the piece that we're seeing right in front of us here. Tell me a little bit about this one. It's a piece that you've had for a couple of years now, right? That's been finished?
Yes.
You've also, though, made not just this scale, I mean, full-size monument pieces.
A big life-and-a-half size version of this as well.
Incredible. Right. So tell me about this piece, though.
This one's one we call Spirit Wolf. The Native American and the wolf have a very close relationship historically, and even now. And so these two are kind of sensing the same thing, feeling, they're moving in sync, so they're one in spirit, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So,
excellent. Well, and you always work with bronze?
Always in bronze, that's what I'm doing, yes.
Great. Well, and it's a remarkable piece, and I love the way that you can see it in the 3-dimension just from the comfort of your own seat. You don't have to walk around it. That's what I'm liking about it, but it is amazing, and the detail that you have in it. And you talked about the history of this piece, but your background, though, is very well rooted into the backcountry. You're an avid outdoorsman, and if I remember correctly, you went to school even in Denver, right? So you're almost a local guy.
Design, so yes, and I was an outfitter in southern Colorado for a number of years.
Wow, okay.
An outdoor business, hunting and backcountry work.
Were you raised in Colorado?
Most of my life, believe it or not, I'm from Southern California originally, but I moved out here when I was very young.
Okay.
And worked outdoors almost my entire life on cattle ranches. I live on a cattle ranch now in Wyoming. Mm-hmm. And we've got Indian reservation right across the canyon.
I bet it's pretty easy then to find some inspiration.
It is. I've got a lot of native friends. A native friend inspired this. His name is Andon Soldier Wolf.
Amazing. And
actually, he was when I first met him, he was wearing all this garb, the wolf cape, which a friend of mine actually made for him.
Wow.
So yeah, and he has 3 pet wolves.
Okay. So when you're making a piece like this, do you have to have your subjects in place? I mean, I know you're not going to have a wolf standing there.
Well, I actually went and visited wolves. I sculpted on this in Sedona for 9 weeks at one time, and there was someone I met down there who actually raised wolves.
Wow.
Annan, like I said, has 3 wolves, so he lives 25 minutes from me, or did. Actually just moved to New Zealand last year.
Did he, with his wolves?
Yeah, well,
a lot of sheep there, right? That's the problem. They need to send the wolves
30 sheep for every person.
That's right.
Anyway, he didn't model for me per se on this piece. He was the inspiration behind it, but I did go spend time with his wolves.
Okay.
And so a lot of photographs, measurements, and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a lot of times working off of a reference photograph after you do your visit. Correct.
Not only that, though, Mark is such a perfectionist. I've got photos in the gallery. He does all the measurements, whether he's working on a man's face or whatever, they're absolutely perfectly done to scale and scale down.
And you can see the photo right there. I mean, it's
There's
just
a small
amazing.
piece.
Yeah.
This is what Mark's been working on for the last 6 months. It's a 9-foot of distant hope. We've got the small one in the gallery, and that's outside your house, isn't it?
That's right. It's right outside the studio.
And like you said, this is the latest piece, so some of this you will be working on in the gallery this weekend.
Not that one.
Not that one.
That was too big to bring in.
Right.
Just finished that this last week. I took that to the mold maker, and they're cutting it up and getting ready to make it into a bronze.
Well, congratulations. That feels good, right? I'm sure to finish another project.
2.5 months over my schedule, 7 days a week. I mean, it was a long, hard process.
I can imagine. Yeah, like Paul said before the interview here, these pieces take anywhere between 5 and 1 million hours, right?
Yeah, that's
right. So
right.
it's going to take a long time.
What's amazing with that piece, too, I mean, to get it into it had to be chopped in middle to get it in through the door into the foundry. But they'll make all the molds and everything like that.
Yeah,
so
there was a lot of logistical problems with that. Even just transporting the thing. I mean,
imagine.
Yeah.
Even transporting a piece like this when you're coming into town here, I mean, can cause some problems.
Let alone a 9-foot, and you're taking things apart, cutting off hands, and reworking them, putting them back together. And it's a lot of work, but fun.
Really
it's exciting work. I love working large.
Good, great. Yeah. Well, tell me about your newest piece then that someone can come see and visit while you're working.
That's a piece that I just started. I actually started just before I started working on this last monument, but I had to lay it aside. And so it's a bust, an Indian bust, 1/2 life-size scale. And it's well, right now he's wearing a half of a headdress. Through part of a headdress, he's gonna have some feathers and some Indian garb.
Great.
But it's another story, similar to like my white man is his grass. It's an Indian representing the Indian tribal people who've lost everything but he's still standing. So the story behind this, he's lost his family, land, everything, but he's still, by the grace of God, still stands.
Wow,
Yeah.
great.
By the grace of the Creator, so.
Very
Great
emotional
history.
pieces. And
Yes.
what I love about Mark is, I mean, he doesn't rush a piece. Some of his pieces, just to get the facial expressions, there's White Man is His Grass and not Distant Hope, but Manifest Destiny. He'll take sometimes more than a year before he's happy with the expressions on the face. That's a long time. This is a beautiful new piece that's available in the gallery now, too. Just a charming little piece there called Autumn Rain. So we've got that in the gallery. It came in
Rain,
yesterday.
R-E-I-G-N, rain.
Yes,
so it's
rain.
a dominant buck who reigns. Yeah,
Yes,
blue.
exactly.
Got it.
And he's also come out with something very unique. This piece here, Hands That Once Held Six Guns, is a piece we love and have had. It's now available in a wall sculpted bronze with a special hanging device as well. And that's in the
Great.
gallery. That's only been there about a month.
Yeah.
So that's really, really neat. There it is there. Very unique.
That's incredible.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's very cool. Did you have to rework that piece then? To make,
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
total resculpt.
Wow,
so,
amazing. Was that like
it's
after?
very close to the original freestanding piece,
Uh-huh.
but there's a few minor changes that most people couldn't detect. But to make
Sure,
it work
I bet.
three-dimensionally on a
Imagine.
wall.
It looks, I mean, you know, from my perspective, it's an exact replica, which, going back to your level of detail going at it, what do you find so interesting about the wildlife that you feel like you need to capture it the way you do?
Well, I can't separate the wildlife from what I do because I've worked in the outdoors. I live basically outdoors just about on the big
Comes
Yeah,
inside
breathe it.
for a shower.
So yeah, it's just part of my life. And the Native Americans have such a close relationship. I have a close relationship with the wildlife.
Sure.
So to me, it's inseparable. I have to kind of represent both. So,
Well, and even as a country, I think you capture what our history has really come from. So you do an amazing job with it. Like you said, emotional
you.
pieces. They are fantastic to see. Anytime I've been in the gallery, I make sure to check out each one. And you can too this weekend and see Mark James at work this weekend. And where can you find the gallery?
We're right on the corner of South Park and South Main in Breckenridge, 421 South Main Street on the corner. You've got two entrances. I mean, Mark's going to be hanging out as well quite a bit, but the show is officially 3 till 7,
Okay.
Friday and Saturday. And Mark will be around all half of next week as well, enjoying the high country. So that'll be good. If anybody can't make it this weekend and wants to meet him on Monday or Tuesday, just call us. We'll make it happen.
That'll be great. And or just stop in and talk to Paul and figure out, you know, the logistics of that.
Yes.
Sounds
We'd
good.
love to put one of his beautiful pieces of art in your home. That would be
great.
wonderful.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right. Mark, it's always a pleasure to see you.
All right, thank you
you're
again.
amazing
Great to be
talk.
back.
Take care,
Paul,
my
good
friend.
to see you. Of course, good to see you as well. And we're going to take another break here and we keep moving along with our Friday edition of Sun Sunrise. Don't go anywhere. Lots more show coming your way.